Hello, I'm Charlie Gonzalez, and I'm sitting here with a very special guest, a CSUN alum and a Dodgers reporter, David Vassegh. David, thank you for sitting down with me today.
Hey, Charlie, thank you for having me.
As I just mentioned, you graduated from CSUN. What's it like being back at your old stomping grounds?
Wow, it's a change for the better since I left here. It's grown so much, and the facilities, including where we're sitting, were not here when I was going to Cal State Northridge, but it has grown to have such a great reputation of great broadcasting and journalism. That's what it's known for. So very proud when I say CSUN as where I went to school.
Yeah. And when was the last time you were actually here? Was it on graduation day, or did you happen to come by here for something else since then?
No, it feels like the last day I was here was when I picked up my last day of school. You know, that was my last day at Cal State Northridge. So yeah, I haven't been back since. I've wanted to, bring my kids here just so they could see the campus and see where I walked and stuff. I actually think I came here with my cousin maybe 10 years ago because he also is a Cal State Northridge journalism graduate, and he brought his younger kids from now Boston just to the campus store to get some swag for Cal State Northridge.
Yeah.
And Bobby Braswell used to be my guy when he was the head basketball coach here. So I came to a basketball game when Coach Braswell was coaching the men's basketball team.
And how long ago was that, do you think?
Ooh, I would say in the early 2000s, 01, 02, probably when he was coaching here.
Oh, right about that time. That's
Yeah.
also when athletics was in a period of transition and dropped football from its
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
So it was a while ago. But speaking of covering sports and coming to see people that you know, Dodgers, World Series champions.
Yeah.
How was it covering the World Series and also riding on the top of the bus during the parade through downtown?
It was a dream come true, Charlie, just coming to class every day here at Cal State Northridge. I always had that dream of one day either being a host for the Dodgers radio or a host of the Lakers radio shows and being a sideline reporter. That was all I thought about. When I was driving here, I'd be listening to sports radio. When I'd leave school, I'd be thinking about sports radio because that just was my vision ever since I was in 8th grade. And I had a lot of no's, a lot of people not believe in me, but I believed in myself. And I was able to, when I was going here to Cal State Northridge, intern, pay for my tuition by working at Costco, and then come into school. But being able to have something that the city hasn't experienced since 1988 when the Dodgers won with Oral Hershiser back then. Obviously 2020, the pandemic, no parade, but to be part of it and to be able to share the players' emotions, that is a dream come true. And I was so happy for them because they deserved a parade in 20.
Yeah.
And I was happy there were still a lot of guys on this team that played on the 2020 Dodgers.
And speaking of the 2020 Dodgers, earlier this week you were at the Justin Turner Foundation Golf Classic, and there were some former Dodgers there, Justin Turner and Corey Seager. What was it like talking to some familiar faces from that 2020 team?
Man, Charlie, you're gonna get me emotional. It was great to see those guys. Great to see Seager, who I knew since he won the Minor League Player of the Year award back in 2014, and then when he broke in 15. I've known him basically his entire professional career. So our bond didn't stop right there, when he left the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is creating these relationships, but also nurturing the relationships, even though they're not on the Dodgers. And Justin Turner, will forever be known as a Dodger. His 9 years in LA were really special because of how much he poured into his craft on the field, but even more how much he cared about people in the city of LA. And I don't believe it's a coincidence him being from Southern California played into that. So two really special guys, and it was great to see them. It was great to see a player that I've admired from Harvard Westlake, Pete Crow Armstrong, got to interview him. Nomar Garciaparra was out there, so it was great to see a lot of support for JT.
And speaking of Harvard Westlake, Jack Flaherty, a midseason acquisition. Southern California kid.
Yeah.
What was it like when he came to the Dodgers? Was that kind of your thought of, oh, another local kid, he's going to live his dream, he's going to be an addition that the Dodgers sorely need because many pitching injuries were piling up.
Yeah.
And so what was your thought when Dodgers acquired Flaherty?
They really needed him.
Yeah,
Without Flaherty, they don't win the World Series. And of course, he didn't pitch great in every game, but Game 1 of the World Series set the tone for the rest of the series in more ways than one. But yeah, exactly what you said, Charlie. Jack Flaherty is living out a dream that we all had. If you're a baseball fan, if you're a Dodger fan, you grow up, you play high school baseball, you win the high school championship at Dodger Stadium, pitching a shutout, driving in the only run, and then all of a sudden you're winning the World Series with the Dodgers. I mean, not too many guys can say that, and hard to think of one off the top of my head that has had the career that Jack Flaherty has had in that respect. So they needed him, and it was great to watch him live out his dream.
And I wanted to go back to talking about the 1988 World Series. That was the last time before this year the Dodgers had a World Series parade. The similarities between Kirk Gibson's and Freddie Freeman's. I want to tell a quick story on my part. I was sitting at home, like hands like this, like, oh my God. Like they walked Mookie, but like how can this go well? And make a ground ball to anywhere will cause a force out anywhere and it happened. I saw the crowd behind him go nuts, and my dad and I just started jumping like up and down. We were like on an emotional high for a long time. Tell me where exactly you were watching that and what it was like for you.
Well, usually in the 8th inning of a playoff game, I head downstairs. So I'm standing right next to the Dodger dugout. There's obviously a lot more Major League Baseball officials and other national reporters there as well, getting ready to go on the field if the Dodgers win or if the Yankees win. I'm obviously there in case of what happened took place.
Yeah.
A walk-off hit or a walk-off grand slam. Nobody thought that, but that's where I was standing. And the one image I have in my mind, trying to look over people's heads, everybody was on their feet. I saw Mookie Betts. I saw the ball head towards the right field pavilion.
Yeah.
I saw Freddie's bat up in the sky. And right after that, I saw Mookie Betts jumping up and down at first base. So those were the images I had in real time. And it was really special to be able to interview Freddie Freeman on the field for Dodgers radio right after that walk-off grand slam, because I remember watching Bob Costas interview Kirk Gibson after his walk-off home run in '88, and I was like, dang, I would love to be Bob Costas right now, and I am very blessed to have been able to be in that position to interview Freddie Freeman after his signature moment.
And how did like the players and even the reporters who work for the team like regather yourselves after such like a storybook ending, because there was only game 1, you still got like 3 games left to win. How does the team just come back to earth? It's like, okay, that was great. We gotta do this 3 more times.
Well, from a broadcaster standpoint, Charlie, you have to keep your emotions in control, but also share the excitement of what just took place. Breathing helps, Charlie. That's a big part of all this, where you hear players talk about slow the game down. As a broadcaster in that moment, you have to slow the game down, or you're going to be rushing through the interview and it's not going to be great. And you have to remember, this is Freddie's moment. It's not my moment.
Right.
It's Freddie's moment. But as far as the players and the team moving on after that incredible emotional high, look, the Yankees, it's hard to pick yourself up after that, just like it was hard for the A's to pick themselves up after Gibson's home run. But you're only as good as your next game starter. And just like in '88, Orel Hershiser came back and shut out the A's in 9 innings in Game 2. Yamamoto did that for the '24 Dodgers, where he didn't pitch a complete game shutout, but he held the Yankees down, and the Dodger offense came to life. So you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher, and if Yamamoto gave up, 4 or 5 runs in the first couple of innings, all that momentum's gone.
Yeah.
But he put up zeros and kept the Yankees down.
Speaking of 4 or 5 runs, Game 5, 5th inning, Dodgers are down 5-0. Look, it's looking like the series is coming back to Los Angeles, and then a series of mental mistakes and just easily avoidable errors happen. I was sitting in class watching with the volume muted, but my instructor, he knew I was watching because he knew everyone was like had this on my. What were you thinking, like in your mind, just like, how is this happening? The drop by Aaron Judge and the bad toss to third base, the pitcher not covering first and Mookie just hightailing it and being safe. Like what was going through your mind about that? Like I had never seen a team collapse on defense like that in my life.
Well, going into the World Series, the scouts I spoke to and the coaches, managers around baseball said the key to this World Series is, yes, the Dodgers are talented, but they're extremely good at the little things. They're very good on defense. They're extremely elite at base running.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, the Yankees were horrible in both of those categories. And that's what opened up the door for Game 1. You know, Gleyber Torres can't keep the cutoff throw in front of him. Ohtani goes to third, scores the tying run in the 8th inning. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
That 5th inning in Game 5, same thing. The Yankees know they're up against a really talented team. They know they have to win that game. So maybe the pressure of knowing they have to try to hold down a really good team for 4 or 5 more innings started to creep in the back of their minds. And once Aaron Judge boxes that fly ball that he always catches,
and right at the
he
last,
took his eye off of it.
Right
you
at the
saw
last,
it.
they zoomed in, and he took his eye off, and then as soon as he does that, it falls out of his glove, and that was the turning point.
Right. So you felt the momentum change. Volpe makes a smart play, but doesn't execute it well. Jose Vizcaíno, who is one of the best infielders of his day, won a World Series or 2, as a coach with the Dodgers, told me it was the right play, but a bad throw because he threw it down into the third baseman instead of up. It wasn't a tag play. It was a force play. So you don't need to throw it low for a tag.
Yeah.
You need to throw it right here. So his mind, mental error, a physical error, whatever it was, starting to snowball on the Yankees. And the Dodgers took that opportunity and ran with it.
Yeah. My blood pressure went from high to low. As I saw it was tied at 5 apiece. I was like, okay, now I can relax a little bit. Because now, like, they're mentally like, how do we do that in 1 inning? Sometimes with a team that just gets to them and it's hard to shake. But talk a little bit about, because you mentioned how around the 8th inning you head downstairs to get an interview with a player. What's a typical day of work like as a Dodgers reporter, like from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and it can even be when you're on the road with the team?
Yeah, so when I'm at home, I have 2 young kids. I get home at midnight after Dodger talk, and my kids need to be at school by 7:45. If I don't see them before then, I'm not going to see them that entire day because I'm at Dodger Stadium while they're at school, and when they come home, I'm still at Dodger Stadium. So typical day ends at midnight. I started at 6:30 in the morning, waking up, helping the kids get dressed, getting them to school, and then from there, try to do what I need to do in life before the phone calls start coming in. I like to get to Dodger Stadium between 4.5 and 5 hours before first pitch for a World Series game. Regular season game, I get there 4 hours before because that's when players start to come out, start to work out. Great time to talk to them. Great time to get the interviews that you need. Dave Roberts does his pregame interview session. You have to be there for that. I have to record my pregame segments and record a segment with Rick Monday. Pregame show starts live at 6 o'clock. First pitch at 7:10. Dodger Talk starts immediately after the final out. If the Dodgers win, I'm on the field for an interview, come back up, start the show. If they lose, I stay in the booth, start the show, ends around 11:30 or midnight.
And talk about Dodger Talk. From your experience, do radio callers articulate and give analysis the way a coach or player would, or they just call to vent to whoever would listen?
I have a hard time believing that John in Reseda is calling me and speaking to me the way he would if Dave Roberts was sitting right next to me. So basically, I'm a therapist. They're on my couch. I let them vent.
Yeah.
But I also put things in context and perspective. So I know everybody's very emotional. They care about the Dodgers. I do as well. But if you take a step back, there are reasons for why a manager does certain things, and maybe you want to question them, and that's reasonable. Maybe a player doesn't make a play. You know, why doesn't a guy bunt? You know, is a nauseating question. But my job is to explain, and the way you explain is getting there 4 hours before a game and talking to coaches, talking to players, getting some background info, because when it comes to doing a live talk show after a game, I don't have the luxury of saying, hold on, let me go ask them, or hold on, or call back tomorrow. I don't have that luxury. So you have to be prepared. And being prepared doesn't mean showing up an hour before the game, or being prepared doesn't mean staying in the booth and not talking to anybody. Being prepared is, and being a reporter and being a responsible host is interacting with the people that the fans care about.
Yeah, and absolutely. And sometimes you're the only person who can do that. There is no one else helping you. You know, there may be an assistant, but it's ultimately up to you or whoever's in your position with another team to go and get that, because you have access to information at a time where pretty much no one else does, not even like the reporters during the pregame. And one final question: what's one thing you want to do in your career that you haven't yet done? One box that hasn't been checked.
Interview Pat Riley. I've never interviewed Pat Riley, who I admired so much as the head coach of the Showtime Lakers. I've never had the opportunity to interview Pat Riley. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah. And
he's getting a statue, you know.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe that will be my chance, Charlie.
Maybe that will be your chance. Right as they pull down the tarp and unveil it. That's probably, you're probably going to be there in all likelihood. That's just your position with the Dodgers, and him being an LA figure, you being an LA figure. It seems like you'll get invited to that for sure.
Thank you, Charlie.
And you can
put in a good word for me with Riley, okay?
For sure, I will do that right now as soon as we're done in this interview. And people, you can just say, "I'm David Vassegh. Come on in here, David." And so, thank you.
Yeah, no, I hope that goes that way, Charlie, but I don't think it will. Thank you, Charlie.
I would bet money on it. Thank you for coming by, of course.
You got Riley-type hair, Charlie.
I do. I guess this has been this way for a long time. I get questions. Are you going to cut it? No.
All right.
Yeah, that's just, we all have our own styles, you know.
You got a good style, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. You taking time out of your day to when you got to go to Sportsnet LA and El Segundo. You came out here to Northridge. Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. You asking me to come back to a place that I really care about a lot, and I'm happy that they're doing great things with you.
Yeah, I'm happy as well, and also shout out to my mentor and a friend of yours, Gonzalez Hassan, for connecting the two of us. It really means a lot, and wish he was here to see this right now.
All right, thanks, Charlie.
Let's
leave it
Dave.
right there.
Yeah, thank you, David.